Hello, welcome back. So, in the previous video, we have seen in brief, in very minute details about the inflation, about the causes, effect, the types of inflation, measurements of inflation, and the way to curb the measures that can be taken to curb the inflation. Now, let us go in deep in detail regarding the topic causes of inflation. So, as we already have discussed, there are two major factors that leads to inflation. That is demand pull and cost push. Right. So these are the two major factors we have seen, and then now under demand pull we have seen the first one as increase in government expenditure. Government expenditure. Okay, so what does this mean? How this leads to the increase in inflation? Now government spends on various projects, like government announces the building of bridges, railways, or dams, or roads, or like giving current supply in about free, or any kind of that. So what happens is, like suppose assume there is a place where there was no road connectivity, right? And then now the government announced the plan and they built the road. Now what happens? The connectivity increases. So from X location to Y location, people starts moving, people starts traveling. So then that will further lead to increase in demand. Either it can be demand for goods or services. So in the way we also see how the transport also will increase, because to commute we need some transport sectors, like we need auto rickshaw or trolley or whatever it may be. So for that, there the demand for auto rickshaws also will increase, and then the demand for the goods and the transport of that goods will also increase. So when government expends, like government spends money, it means in one or the other way it is pushing the money in one or the other form in the market. When it comes to the expenditure, there are two types of expenditure. They are planned expenditure and non-planned expenditure. Planned expenditure and non-planned expenditure. So here in planned expenditure, what happens is the government, what all the schemes they announce, the welfare schemes or like building of roads, dams, etc. That all comes under planned expenditure. So like we used to have 5-year plan, right? So all those expenses that would allocate, that the government would allocate, that would go under the planned expenditure. Now non-planned expenditure includes like giving pensions or salaries, right, of that kind, like salaries or pensions and all. So that comes under non-planned expenditure. So obviously, as we have seen planned expenditure, how it increases the demand, but in non-planned also what happens is the government is directly giving the money in the hands of the people, or to the salaried persons, or to pensioners of that kind. So definitely when you get the money in your hand, definitely you create a demand for the product or for service. Next, next one was the deficit financing. So what does deficit financing mean? So when the government has a lesser, like government has less money, either it borrows or then government goes for printing of money. So deficit financing. So which means the government fills the deficit by printing the money. So it indirectly, government here means through the channel of RBI, the government does it. So indirectly government is pushing money through the printing of money, right? So that further will lead again. So what we have seen one criteria, that when money gets to your hand, the demand increases. So the same is happening here with deficit financing. It's very simple, where government fills its deficit by printing of money. Then third, we have black money. So before discussing how black money is a factor under demand pull, so what is black money? Black money is nothing but where the people earn their income through illegal ways or people evade the taxes. Like in one or the other way, they show that their income is less or their sale is less, and then what they do is the profit earned or the income earned, they show it in a less proportion and they need to pay less tax. So the people evade the tax, and that will further lead to black money. So now what is happening here? So rather than that full tax money going in the hands of the government, it is remaining with the people, and then that money they spend to buy their interested goods or services. So that again will create the demand. So under this again there is another impact through black money that we see as demonstration effect. That we call as demonstration effect, which mean demonstration effect mean like we see a culture where the poorer one or the people from the lower strata try to copy or imitate the people in the higher strata. So the poor people try to copy the richer one. Now, because of this black money, the people at the higher strata they try to do a conspicuous consumption. That is, they buy luxurious goods, they buy hi-fi goods like luxurious car or TV or anything of that kind. So seeing that gets affected to the people at the lower strata, that is poor people or lower middle class people, and they try to imitate or copy them. And further again, they also try to increase or buy those goods, and through the demonstration effect, the demand further increases. Now fourth one, increase in population. So it's very quite simple. Let's assume now there are three families A, B, C. A family have one child, B family have one child, C family have one child. Now they need to buy pen for these three people, and there is a factory X which can produce only 3 pens, right? But now assume population has increased. Now here we have 2 more people who increase. Now this company can produce only 3 pens, assuming that, and now we need 5 pens, right? We need 5 pens. So here what's happening is there is decrease in supply, or there is in proportion supply as per the demand. We need 5 and the company can produce 3. So there is a gap of 2 pens that we need. So because of this, as we know, when there is more demand and less supply, obviously the price increases. And as we know, the increase in price is known as inflation. So indirectly or directly, like increase in population becomes a factor for the demand creation, and that demand creation will lead to increase in price, and that is what we call as inflation. Then we have increase in investment. So when it comes to investment, obviously we know that investment comes either through the local channels, or also mostly it comes through the foreign companies. Assume today Apple company comes and sets up a factory or like any unit here in Hyderabad or in Bangalore. So obviously what happens? It will generate jobs. So Apple needs manpower, so it will invite the jobs, and these jobs the people will be paid salary. So it means that money is getting into their hand. This will create demand, right? So when investment increases, automatically the jobs gets created, and then people get salaries, and then that will further create demand. Obviously, increase in demand means increase in price, and then that will lead to inflation. Then we have increase in wages. Like wages in the sense, like it can be salaries. Okay, now today a person earning 10,000 his salary increases to 12,500 for example. So here there is an increase in 2,500 rupees. Obviously, then this 2,500 will be spent somewhere. So indirectly, they demand that product or service, and then that will lead to inflation. So because major thing is that they have this extra amount of money, so that money will be spent somewhere. That will go into the market, and then that will lead to inflation. Then we have forex reserves. Forex reserves. So forex, what does forex reserves mean? So here when it comes to forex reserves, it means in three terms, that is the foreign currency, the gold, and the special drawing rights. So we will further see. Actually, this is not right now related, but we need to know what all constitute the forex reserves. So here we are dealing with this foreign currency. So now suppose India trades or does exports and imports with USA. So that will be done in dollars. The trade will be done in dollars. So now to do the trade we need dollars, right? So in the same way, now to buy these dollars we need rupees. To buy this dollar we need rupees as well. So what happens is, more the inflow of the forex reserves, so more the amount this should be circulated or should be in the flow. It should be in flow of the market. मतलब आप यहाँ पे देखिए, जितना डॉलर लगेगा उतना ही आपके पास इंडियन रुपी भी होना चाहिए, राइट? सो दिस indirectly will lead to the increase in domestic currency. So simple. Again, when there is increase in domestic currency, there is a more excess circulation of domestic currency, that will lead to again demand. Demand will lead to inflation. Then we have excess liquidity. Excess liquidity due to change in monetary policy rates. Okay, so what is monetary policy is? It is a policy framed by the RBI where the major decisions are taken regarding the increasing or the steps to be taken. The decisions are taken in this MPC. Actually, there is a monetary policy committee where the RBI governors and also the government officials sit and discuss, and then they decide particular rates in the sense the interest rates, right? So when it comes to the interest rates, majorly we have repo rate, reverse repo rate. So apart from this, we also have CRR and SLR. Right now that is not a topic of our discussion. So repo rate and reverse repo rate, current reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. So these are the major ratios that are decided. What is repo rate? Repo rate matlab like the rate at which the banks, the commercial banks or the scheduled commercial banks, they take the loan from the RBI, and the rate of interest at which the bank RBI gives to the scheduled commercial banks, that rate is called as repo rate. Now what is reverse repo rate? Obviously that is opposite of it, where RBI takes the money or the loan from the banks, and then the banks charge rate of interest to the RBI. That is reverse repo rate, right? So due to change in monetary policy rates. Now for example, today presently if we see repo rate is at 4%, it means the rate of interest is 4%. Okay. Now RBI reduces it to 3.75%. Right? So what happens is the rate of interest has reduced. Now when it reduces, banks will get or will try to take more loan from the RBI because the rate of interest is less. So this will further lead to increase in credit. So banks will take more loan from the RBI. When this happens, the credit taken or the loan taken from the banks, by the banks, that will be given as a loan to the people, to the public. Right. So when interest rate reduces, the banks will take the loan. That loan will be given to the public, and that money will further will be invested either in their expansion of business or for any purpose So here what is happening, once the loan is given to the public, the money goes to the market. Obviously, when it comes to their hands, that will lead to the increase in demand. So that demand will further lead to inflation. So that is how, when the change in monetary policy rates. So in this way, now suppose if inflation is very high, then repo rate will be increased. So suppose today it's 4.0, if it is reduces, more loans, then RBI will increase it to 4.25% or 4.5%. Like assuming. So then automatically the banks will not take loan, then they cannot give loan to the public, and then definitely money, people will not have money in their hands, then automatically inflation reduces. So that is how the change in monetary policy rates will impact the inflation. Then we have change in consumption pattern. Change in consumption pattern. So assume today, we all know, like we are all facing the corona pandemic, like last 1 year, we have seen this. Now because of this pandemic, people became health conscious. People became aware about the hygienic process and all, and then they are following the all health standards, all precautions and all. So now the change in consumption pattern, it means like now they are taking nutritious food, they are taking the pulses, they are taking all the millets and all. So what all is needed to maintain the proper health, they are consuming it. Until then, they were not consumed to that level. Like suppose, till then, like they may be using or eating very less amount of that food, which are nutritious. But now because of this COVID pandemic, that led to increase in health awareness, and that further created more demand for the nutritious food. So here we can see the change in consumption pattern. I mean, like the demand is tilting more to the nutritious food. Until the pandemic, it was not as such what is today. So this will lead to the change in consumption pattern. Not only this, it can be not only food, it can be the attire. Like I may not wear jeans or what. Like but from today I am wearing jeans. So consumption, like any kind of good, like what leads to the change in consumption pattern will lead to the demand of that product, right? And then this demand will lead to the inflation, right? So these are the major factors under the demand pull factor. Like the cause, as we saw demand pull. So these 9 majorly factors are the reason or the cause for the inflation. Now let's see the cost push inflation. So as till now we have seen demand pull factors. Now let's move on to cost push factors. First one, as we saw yesterday in the previous video, fluctuations in output or supply due to various reasons. So see, output is never predicted, or output is never constant. It keeps changing. So it changes with various reasons. Now let's suppose then one of the reason can be monsoon, unseasonal rains or monsoon. So sometimes the monsoon would be good, and then main we need water. So when monsoon is good, the crop harvest will be good, and the output will also be as per the demand or as per the regular norm. But when the monsoon fails, so the output will definitely change because there will be decrease in water supply. So that will lead in the fluctuation in the output or the supply. Now, as we saw, when there is less supply and the demand is constant or demand is more, then that will lead to the demand, increase in demand, and that increase in demand will lead to inflation. Then, now, second factor is rise in import cost. Okay, so import cost, like yesterday as we said, assume now this pen I am importing from the foreign country. Let's take China. Now like government has increased tax on this product coming from China. That is one reason. Or maybe the input cost of manufacturing this pen may have increased, and China has increased the price of this product. So then indirectly that will again further lead to the increase in this price. So what happens is, when the import cost increases, obviously the price of that product will increase. So as usual, the increase in price is called as inflation, right? So when import cost increases, the price of that product or the commodity will also increase. Then, as we define, general increase in price of any product or service is called as inflation. So rise in import cost becomes one factor from the cost push side that will lead to the increase in price. Third one, we have increase in administered prices and infrastructural bottlenecks. Right, increase in administered prices and infrastructural bottlenecks. So what does this mean is, now suppose the rise of petrol has increased, or the government has increased the tax, excise tax on petroleum. So now what happens? Obviously the cost of that petrol will increase. Now once that increases, definitely it will impact the transport sector, because when transport is at the back end. Like suppose I need to supply some product from one place to another place, and if there is an increase in the petroleum price, that will further cost me an exchequer to me. Like if I am selling something to other place, definitely if increase in petrol will lead to the increase in my supply side cost. So what I will do is, either I will increase in the product, or in one or the other way I will try to fulfill the gap. So that will further lead to the increase in price. And then we have infrastructural bottlenecks. That means, like somewhere we see improper roads, or somewhere we see like depreciation because of some of the other reasons. So there again what happens is, because of irregular supply and demand being at the constant, that will again lead to the inflation. Fourth one, rise in wages. So this is the one common factor that we have seen also in the demand side, like demand pull factor. So rise in wages in the sense, like if I am an employer and if my employees demand a hike in the salary, so definitely what it happens is that will increase, that will lead to the rise in wages. It means definitely it is leading me or it is costing me higher than the product or the productivity. I mean like the amount of the product that I am producing or the productivity, when there is the same production and if there is a rise in wages that is more than the productivity, then definitely it will lead to the cost push factor. So what I have to do is, I have to increase either the price of the product or in some or the other way I have to fulfill that. So that will again further will lead to the inflation. Capitalization. Capitalization means what happens is here few players, like suppose I am a trader, I have another friend trader or someone like I buy and sell cotton from the farmers and sell it to the, I buy from the farmers and sell it to the market, and then same way we are the traders. Now what we do is we form a cartel. We form a cartel, and now what we do is like we decide a particular price for a product. Now the customer or the wherever he goes, he will get the same price. Like for example, a man needs to buy a slipper, right? There is a market, A shop, B shop, D shop, B shop. Now suppose I need some particular X type of product or X type of slipper for my daily wear. So what they do is they form a cartel. They form like for this particular XYZ category of chappal, this should be the price. So now wherever he goes, the price will be same. So the cartel, what they do is they form a group and they decide a particular price and they fix it to that. So that is in their hand whether to increase the price or decrease the price. So definitely they will see their profit. So when the profit comes into the picture, so definitely that will lead to the increase in price and then that will lead to the inflation. Then we have indirect taxes. Then we have, so what is indirect taxes like? Now presently since 2017 we have GST, but before that we had a different like excise duty, customs duty, and then at the state level we have a state value added tax or octroi. Like when we enter into some particular district or the district level also we see that octroi is being added, right? So these type of indirect taxes, what happens is when these indirect taxes increases, obviously that will be added to the price. So if you have seen or observed, now if you buy particular product, the MRP, the maximum retail price, beside that in the box we see inclusive of all taxes. So that all taxes include these indirect taxes, whatever it may be. So wherever if there is an increase in indirect tax, obviously there is increase in the price. So that will again lead to the inflation, but this is from the cost push side factor. Then we have hoarding. So as we saw in the previous video, hoarding. So as here we saw like cartelization, like we have some group of players forming a cartel. Now what they do is to create an artificial demand. Artificial demand in the sense, now suppose now onion price is less or not as per their product, like their price, and like what they expect to be, it's not to that level. Now what they do is they buy from the farmers and they start hoarding it. They don't let that to be supplied to the market. So hoarding means jamakhori karna. So now once that happens, obviously supply will be lessened, supply will be decreased, demand will be more. Obviously that indirectly directly or indirectly both sides will be, that will lead to inflation, right? So these are few factors that cause increase in price, and increase in price is what we call as inflation. So these in detail we have seen causes of inflation, demand pull factors and cost push factors. In the next video we will be seeing the types of inflation and then also the effect or the impact of inflation.